Hey, happy Saturday. Welcome to the stream. How's everyone doing? Welcome to the stream. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining me on this Saturday. If you're new here, it's pretty laid back. It's an open forum for us to talk about things we're working on, things we're excited about, things we're into, things we're struggling with, or anything related to tech, really. If you're not new here, thanks for coming back. Hopefully you're doing okay. Yeah, Saturday. My day so far has been pretty chill, pretty laid back. I'm working on a whole bunch of things like everyone else, but just trying to figure it all out. So what's everybody up to? If you're working on something, you're excited about something, throw it in the chat. Let's talk about it. And I'll just start from the top down, and we'll just discuss. I should mention that I do have to end on time. I started a little bit late, so I'll end a little bit late, but I do have to end on time. Every time I say that, it's totally I go over, but I can't today. Mathney, thank you so much. Gifted a tier 1 sub to Mega Shiny Snivy. Thank you. Mathney gifted a tier 1 sub. Thank you so much. Mega, enjoy your gifted sub for Mathney. And I'll get into all the events, so thank you so much. Well, Edster, hey, resub, Prime, 9 months. Thank you so much. 12-month streak. Woo, 1 year. Wait, what is that? Tier 1, 12 months. Whoa, wait, they're flying in. Prime, 9 months. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Xavius T, resub, Tier 1, 12 months, 1 year. There's my 1 year. Dude, thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. It was first 11 a.m. Woot. By the way, did your lights work earlier? Hopefully they did. They're working now. Actually, I actually fixed the code. Fixed, quote unquote. You know how that goes. Oh, they're rolling in. Thank you so much. What I was saying was, I actually put code into place so that my lights don't flash when I'm not live. I had to. I have so many Zoom meetings during the day now where I'm in here where the lights are flashing and people, I can see them kind of smiling out of the corner of their eye, and they're all like, what's going on in that guy's room? So I had to disable it. And then a few times I'd come home from vacation and it's all like blue and pink in here. And I was like, oh yeah, I need to disable that so people can't change the lights. Because change the lights also in my code says turn on the lights too. So just because the way that these lights work. Anyways, thank you so much. Lights are working now. They look like they're working. Mega Shiny, Snivy, follow the channel. Hey, I thought you were already following, and it's easy not to do, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much for realizing you didn't follow yet and following. Thank you so much. Ilud, dude, Ilud, gifted 5 tier 1 sub. Ilud, how's it going, man? So, let's see, Aiden Bennett, North Wanderer, Big Papa Ken, like it, Kai, and Martin, enjoy your gifted sub from Ilud. Dude, Ilud, thank you so much. You already do so much for the community. Thank you. Let's just call them all out here because I'm only missing a few now. So I'll call out the ones that happened right before we started streaming. Official AJ Smith, thanks for the follow. Happy Scav, Chooch, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. And then Mathney, resub, tier 1, 25 months, 25-month streak. Hello, Tim. How's it going, Mathney? Man, 2 years and 1 month. That is awesome. And then Ilud, tier 1, 26 months, 26-month streak. So 2 years, 2 months. I can math today. I'm trying to maths. And Yakto, resub, Prime, 4 months. Dude, thank you so much. Thank you. Wow, that was a lot of excitement here in the beginning. But hopefully you guys are doing okay. Like I mentioned, if you're working on something, want to talk about it, let's talk about it because we're going to talk about tech stuff. So it might as well be something you want to talk about. But for me, I've been working through, as you saw, I got a new rack. The rack is awesome. I'm starting to put stuff into it. I have some new stuff. I just threw it out on Twitter. A couple of new UPSs that I got. So awesome. One is, well, you'll see it if you see it on Twitter. If not, it's both by Eaton because Eaton actually owns Triplight. And getting some UPSs going. They actually sent me 2, and one is lithium ion, and it kind of blows my mind. I was like, oh yeah, lithium ion. There's that. Pretty awesome. So I'm setting those up and configuring those and getting those into my rack. I should have something on that soon because it's pretty awesome. And they've also created this open source thing that I'm probably going to share around that same time too. That's really cool. I think it's really cool. Makes something I do in my home lab super easy and automated. So I can't wait for that. Anyways, If, like I said, throw something in chat. Let's talk about it. I'll start with weather really quick because I usually do. It's winter. It's winter here in Minnesota. It feels like early winter. Oh, my hair is getting so long. Anyways, it's early winter here in Minnesota, and what that means for us is that it's not that cold yet. 18 degrees. That's Fahrenheit. 16 degrees right now. A low of 9. Not that cold yet. It'll get a lot colder here. But it finally feels like winter here, and it's not that bad so far. It's pretty enjoyable. I mean, we've had some snow, and we get a quarter inch here and there, and it's starting to pile up. But it looks like winter time out, so I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I hate it when it's cold and we don't have snow, so I'm good. Anyways, so that's pretty much it for me. Let's get into chat and see what you guys are working on. And see who was here first. I know that Xavier D said he was here first. He mentioned it actually in Discord this morning and said he was here first, but he didn't say anything. So does it really count though? First person here, according to this, was Mathny Resub, tier 1. Thank you so much, Mathny. How's it going, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. So let's see. Oh, Xavier, no, I didn't scroll. Let's see, what are you guys working on? Yakto, here we go. Yakto, moving my compute host to a new 42U wide and deep rack this afternoon. Awesome, man. Also installing some new Eaton 0 PDU racks. Speaking of Eaton, I was just talking about Eaton and Triplite. Awesome, man. I don't understand 0U PDUs. Do they just go like vertically on the side? I'm assuming, because how can you take a 0U? It would have to be something on the side then. Oh, quick note, because I think I just saw my thing freeze. I finally took the plunge and upgraded to OBS 28. So if things are weird or not working, I'm sorry. I did it last night. I was like, I've been delaying this for a long time, so I upgraded to OBS 28. So far, so good. The UI looks pretty good, but I noticed I'm seeing a couple of hiccups, but anyways, if something goes drastically wrong, I'm going to blame it on that. So anyways, but yeah, 0U PDUs. I need to know more about this. I'm going to look into it for sure. Mega Shiny Snivy managed to sneak in this time between Helm chart swapping. I know that. k8s-at-home kinda lives again in the form of a fork. Nice. Yeah, it's yeah, so yeah, k8s-at-home, the org or the group on GitHub basically said they aren't going to maintain it anymore there. I think OneDrop took it on and he forked it into his own personal repo, and he's been maintaining it there. That's good to know. That's good to know, because there's a lot of great work in there. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears that goes in there too, and it makes life for everyone else trying to run Kubernetes at home, their lives easier too. So I'm a huge fan of that repo. I look at that repo. I was just looking at it earlier, trying to troubleshoot an issue that I had at Kubernetes and Postgres, and it's fantastic. I think you mean one. I think you're talking about OneDrop's fork. If not, let me know. Throw it in Discord somewhere. JCX, how's it going? Oh, sorry, Mega Shiny. There was your comment. I need to remember how to Twitch. JCX, how's it going? Eyes aren't working. Just dropping by to say hi. Hello. Might not be staying the whole stream, but hope all you beautiful people are doing well. Thank you, JCX. That's such a nice note. Thank you. I hope so too. I understand if you can't stay. Good to have you here. Good to see you. Flowdash. Week's been good. Some local person is testing my wallet, listing a server for 300 Canadian. Cisco UCS C220M4S 2X Xeon E5 2698 V3, 64 gigs of ECC RAM, and two 770 watt PSUs, 120 gig SAS RAID. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good deal. Getting two servers and a Cisco switch, I think that is UCS, or a firewall. Wow. Yeah, that they are testing your wallet. They'd probably be testing mine too, because that's a heck of a deal. You could resell it for more than that. You could probably sell those servers maybe for 300 each. We'll see. Linux Tips. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you in here. How's it going? Edster, finally managed to catch another stream, but recently been setting up Pterodactyl and Authentic on my HPML 110 that I have got since the last stream I caught. Oh, HPML 110. I don't know that one, but I do know Pterodactyl and Authentic. Awesome. That is awesome. Pterodactyl's kind of challenging to set up, and I assume Authentic is mildly challenging to set up. I know what it is. I haven't used it a ton, but it's pretty cool. So yeah, basically auth provider. A provider of auth providers. So you can OAuth to services that you use on any of your internal services. So pretty cool. Rorix, freezing my butt. This MN weather is wild. Rorix, if you're in Minnesota, then you must be up a little bit more north. I mean, I'm in Minneapolis. I feel like it's been mild. I don't know. I feel like it hasn't been too bad. Because we've seen a lot worse, and so yeah, I guess it depends what you're used to. If you're up north, they've been getting pounded with snow and all kinds of stuff. Luckily, that stuff is kind of staying up there, even more north, so along the Canadian border. But yeah, good luck to you. Mega Shiny, Maffney, thanks for the gift. You goober. Let's see, TJ Heinzo. Let's go with this. Finally set up Proxmox on my Think Center now. I'm learning Docker to get typical microservices running. Awesome. So you have Proxmox on your Think Center. Awesome. So you have a Think Center. It supports virtualization, obviously. Got Proxmox going on it. Awesome. That's a great start for you to start learning. It's a great learning platform because once you have a hypervisor, then you can install virtual machines or do whatever you want to do, mess them up, back them up, tear them down, build them up, whatever you want to do, without doing it on the host machine or bare metal, which is super nice. It's great for learning, for sure. And now you're learning Docker. That is awesome. Congrats to you. I think containerization in general is huge. It's hard to ignore. It's everywhere. And so I think it's a valuable skill to pick up. Even if you don't use it in your day job, you may someday, or someone may come to you and ask you stuff about containers or Docker specifically and how this works, or hey, I don't understand Docker. Could you explain this to me? And so I think it's a valuable skill to pick up and start learning about. The sooner the better if you haven't done it, because it's everywhere, especially when you get into large corporations. Like most workloads that they're using are containerized and have been containerized, and if not, they have a plan to do it. They just haven't done it yet. So yeah, it's a great skill to learn. If you can learn in the comfort of your own home and your own machine and break stuff, that is even better. Xavier D, no. Dow Cola, hey, how's it going? You mean testing in production? Yeah. I'm guilty of that. Maybe at work too, but sometimes it's a lot easier to test in production. Now, I can't say I'm not guilty of that. I mean, sometimes, like I said, sometimes it's easier to test, and I don't mean full-blown test your code for the first time in production. I mean, sometimes, getting your environment to match what is really production is near impossible. So sometimes you do have to do a quick fix or a quick rollout of something in production, test it really quick, and if it doesn't work, revert, which I've done plenty of times. But that's all based on the fact that you can revert really quick. If you can't revert really quick, it's not so fun testing in production. PC Geek, wow, finally. Which, oh, you mean the lights? Yeah, I think that time what was I doing? Oh, I was on the homelab show doing the podcast with Jay and Tom Lawrence, and some folks thought it would be really funny to keep changing my lights during the podcast, which was live on YouTube, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna put an end to this. And not that right now I don't care. I love it. I actually love it. This one looks pretty good too. I haven't seen this one in a while. I love it during my own live show, but when I was on someone else's, I was like, oh man, this is kind of distracting, probably for Tom and for Jay from on that podcast. So I did have to change it. And then that was when I decided, you know what, if I'm not live, let's not change the lights, because I have Zoom meetings. I have all kinds of meetings in here, and it's not always just YouTube and Twitch. So, but yeah, I finally put it in place. I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back, though, during the podcast. I love that you guys did it, though. That was really the only way you were going to get me to finally put that fix in place, was to actually make it so painful that I had to do it no matter what. So I'm glad you guys did it. G6 fixed. That's right, fixed it. Yeah, is it a fix? I don't know. It's not that fun. Speaking of, yeah, Xavier's D. That's not fun anymore. I know it's not fun anymore. But trying to explain to a large group of people on a call, during my day job as to why my lights are flashing is kind of. It gets kind of weird in the room when I do that, in the Zoom room. It does for sure, because then they're like, wait, what? You are on YouTube or you're on Twitch? And, it just turns into this conversation and kind of sidetracks everything that's going on. But yeah. Damn it, I know. I'm sorry. LOL, for sure. Let's see. Morton Olson. Hey, Tim, from Germany here. Moin. I don't know why I salute when I say moin, but k8s, good show, good vids, keep it going. Thank you so much, Morton Olson. Thanks, I appreciate it. Moin, all the way from the US out to Germany. Thank you so much, appreciate it. Mega Shiny Snivy, link to the k8s-at-home work maintained by Geeky Penguin. It lives again. Oh, all right. Geeky Penguin. I know that website. I know that blog. He has quite a bit. Awesome. Well, I thought OneDrop was maintaining it himself, but yeah, Geeky Penguin. That's awesome. Geeky Penguin was a long time, I think, Docker user, and I think finally bit the bullet and just said, I'm going to use Kubernetes now. So pretty awesome. Good for Geeky Penguin. Great blog site, great documentation, everything you can possibly think of, for sure. Good to see someone from the community picking that up. Xavier D, oh, gotcha, yeah. Let's see, links get filtered out. Oh yeah, I totally got it. But I know Geeky Penguin's blog, so it's easy Google for me, for sure. The end is near. Oh, that's actually your name. I like it. Let's see, TemHR. Set up Proxmox on an old laptop yesterday. Looking forward to tinkering with some home labbing. Cheers. Hey, TemHR. I'm gonna say Tem. Just Tem. That is awesome. I love that you put it on a laptop too. I've done that before in the past. One of my Linux routers one time was an old laptop. And I thought to myself, hey, this is great because I have a UPS built in. That's awesome that you have a laptop that supports virtualization so that you can run a hypervisor on there. Pretty awesome, pretty cool. And like I said, you have a free UPS built in. I'm always scared, though. I did get scared, though, to leave that plugged in 24/7 because you hear about all the horror stories about, batteries expanding or catching on fire. I don't mean to scare you, but I used to get kind of scared about that. About keeping, a laptop plugged in 24/7, and it's probably not even a problem. I think it was on some very specific models for a while, but not probably now. Who knows? But awesome. Yeah. What are you gonna install? What are you gonna build? When are you gonna virtualize? Yeah, I'd love to know. Piece of geek drop in front. Yeah, I think so. I mentioned that earlier. And I think it's a switch to the latest OBS. So bear with me. Nobi Ryu. How goes the 100 days of homelab for you? Yeah, it's still going. I'm on day 161. Day 161. I'm gonna do it as long as I possibly can. And if I stop, it's because I forgot to tweet it out. So that's how I'm tracking my streak. It's all based on if I tweet or not. And then if I forget to that day, then I guess my streak is over. Will I continue to do it? Sure. But I'm going to keep tweeting it out. So, yeah, I'm on day 161. And today, really, this morning, what I was doing, pretty chill day for me, I was going through and running all of my playbooks to update all of my servers. I noticed that Debian had a bunch of updates. A lot of my other systems had some updates. And I think Proxmox had a new release of Proxmox. So I was like, hey, this is a good time to do it. So yeah, this morning I rolled through all my playbooks, updated all of my servers, and then rebooted them afterwards. And that's where it gets a little bit tricky for me with my updates, mainly because I run services in here, and most of them are HA, some of them are not, just because they can't be. But I have to coordinate my reboots, so it's a little bit challenging. So I've broken up all of my host files into different groups of machines. So that I can take them down and reboot them and try is the keyword, to keep services up. I did run into a hiccup when I rebooted like group 3. I got to figure that out. I have no idea why. I was seeing HA services that were not responding, and I'm like, wait, all you guys are HA. You're running, 3 replicas spread across 3 different servers, and only one server was in that group. So anyways, that was my today for 100 Days of Home Lab. And tomorrow I think is going to be server racking stuff, but we'll see. We'll see. It all depends on time. But yeah, it might go into the night. We'll see. But yeah, it's going well. I love sharing that type of stuff. And plus, I'm not really the great at tweeting. So it's like, it kind of gives me an excuse to tweet something out and share what I'm working on. So, and I enjoy still looking at the hashtags of other people doing it and seeing what they're working on. For me, it's a good filter to tap into some content that I want to see. The 100 Days of Home Lab hashtag anywhere. I've noticed it's even on Mastodon now too, which is awesome. And then a couple of groups on Mastodon asked me if I could bring the bot over there. So I might be working on, I'll open source it, but I might be working on a bot for Mastodon to reblog. I forget what they call it. It's not a retweet, but whatever the word is for it, that's what I'll probably be working on. But anyways, a couple of groups on Mastodon asked if I could bring the bot over there, and I think I'm going to. So anyways, for me, it's a great hashtag to look at news or things I'm interested in. Like things I'm generally interested in are mostly interested in. I know that if I click on the hashtag, I'm going to see some cool stuff. So yeah, it's been going well. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to do it. Hopefully I can hit like 1 year, but we'll see. We'll see. That's a ways out. Xavius, I'm finally moving my work laptop and my monitors to my carbon fiber vinyl wrap desk. Awesome. Yeah, I remember that. 4 hours, and I've got 2 monitors on dual arm. LOL. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. I'm finally moving. No, that is awesome. I'm not going to give anyone crap for delaying anything, and not that even what you're doing is delayed. Man, we got lives to live. We got things to do. Things get in the way. And then sometimes you put things in the way like, hey, I just want to veg out today and play games, or I want to disconnect and not do anything tech related. That's totally fine. So I never give anybody too much crap for putting stuff off because I put off plenty. So I'm definitely, don't put me up on a pedestal because I put off plenty. Even though it looks like it get a lot done, there are some days where I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'm just going to write some code for, the next couple of hours. And while I am still doing something, it is nothing related to my job or even related to my YouTube stuff. So I get it. Sometimes things get in the way. So I'm not going to give you crap. I did see the dual arms in your picture, and Discord looks pretty awesome. It's getting there. And I do love that you have a carbon fiber wrapped desk because that is awesome. Never knew you could do that until I saw yours. Ilude, Mafney is mad. I keep showing him up unintentionally. Sub time and free subs. Oh, it's all good. It's all good. Mafney's never been mad. He's never mad. He's such a nice guy. He is such a nice guy. PC Geek, Eaton is nice. We have one at my work, but I think it's a normal UPS battery. Awesome. Yeah, they reached out. I'll talk more about this in the video, but yeah, they reached out, wanted to help me, and this goes back to the summertime when I lost power and my service went down. This goes all the way back to there. That's when we started chatting because they were like, "Man, that stinks. Can we help?" Anyways, long story short, yeah, I have. I have in my possession, not in my rack yet, a great UPS with a battery backup. And then on top of that, they were like, oh, by the way, here's a lithium ion one too, a 1U one. I was like, are you kidding me? Thank you. So anyways, I'm going to be testing that out and figuring out what I'm hooking up to what, because I kind of have to split them up based on my smart switch that I'm also bringing in here soon. So anyways, it's pretty awesome. I'm super excited about it, and I'll get some more battery uptime for sure. And it'll all be rack mounted, so that is awesome too. Xavius, yep, snow up here. That's right. You're in North Dakota. You're in Fargo. So yeah, you're pretty far up there, and yeah, you guys have been getting hit with a lot of snow, for sure. And so same here, north of Minnesota, Duluth area, which is up near, not near Fargo, but as far north as Fargo too. So Yeah, a lot of snow up there. I'm glad it didn't. It only came about, three quarter, maybe halfway down the state, and so it missed us. We got some, but we got enough that it looks nice, not enough that it sucks. So yeah, let's see. Takano, quick update. Since I have to go, thank you, man. But I was successful. I'm getting our school to get funded for a new laser engraver. Seems good. Yeah, man. You've been talking about this laser engraver for a while and giving your teachers crap for having either an old or broken one. I can't remember which one it was, but yeah, it's pretty awesome, man. You keep it up. Keep pushing them to do better because everybody wins then. Mega Shiny, free homelab cooling, that's for sure. That is for sure. I love it when it's cold in my basement because my server fans have to work less. And it's a lot quieter too, for sure. But yeah, I enjoy the wintertime for many reasons, not most of which, but one of the big reasons is my servers stay nice and cool, and then I don't want to say free heat because I'm paying for the electricity for the servers, but I'll say free heat for my servers too. Two Guys Gaming, Celsius or Fahrenheit? That was Fahrenheit. I'm in the US, so Fahrenheit, Celsius, I don't even know what that'd be. 18, it would be, well, it's less than 32, which would be 0, so I don't know. Less than 0 in Celsius, I think? I don't know. My math is slipping me, but it is Fahrenheit. Yeah, so it's about 18. Now it's, 15, I'm sorry. And a low of 9. So yeah, it's starting to feel like winter here in Minnesota. It's getting there. Hey, I called out Edster, I believe. If I didn't, I apologize. Edster resub Prime 9 months. I think it did. But thank you again. Xavius is resub tier 1 12 months 1 year. Whoa, I'm scrolled down. That's why I'm looking. I was like, I thought I read these already. Anyways, Xavius, yes, I read that out, but thanks again for 1 year. Keeping track of this account. I followed my channel. Thanks for follow. Appreciate it. Let's see. Edster, well, it doesn't feel like summer here yet, so that's right. You're in the southern hemisphere, so you're getting ready to ramp up for summer because the Earth is tilting back the other way, and we're getting further away from the sun while you're getting closer. Well, I hope it does soon. So yeah, you're late spring. We're late fall. Technically, the winter solstice is what, the 21st, which is PC Geek's birthday. Learned that in Discord the other day. But anyways, so it's getting close. It's getting close to the first day of winter for us. Not too close, I guess. What am I talking about? We got like a month left. So you're in late spring. You got about a month left until your summer, but hopefully it warms up. Not too warm though. Mega Shiny. I just keep a window open for my server room. My servers are so quiet. Nice, nice. I just went in my basement earlier when I was looking at my power supplies, and I kind of closed it a little bit because I was like, the way the windows are facing right now, it's like exactly where the wind is blowing. So it was blowing in a lot, and so I had to close my vent a little bit, but. Yeah, I love having now a vent in my server room because before I didn't have that window there at all, and now I do, and it's a game changer for me. But yeah, it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice in the wintertime to have servers. JCX, Proxmox cluster coming up with massive workarounds to get TrueNAS paths through working with my HPE G8 Proxmox server and the P420 card. Next server is probably going to be a Dell, since HPE's workaround central, and definitely wouldn't recommend for a beginner home labber, but don't have the money for that right now. Yeah, I to be honest, I haven't worked on many HPE servers at all. Most of the servers I've worked on have always been, IBM or Dell. So yeah, I can't comment on HP stuff. That's unfortunate that it's giving you problems to be able to pass through stuff in Proxmox. Might be a Debian problem, but you know how that goes. And you're a Debian expert, so you would know as far as drivers go. But yeah, that stinks. That stinks that you'd have to buy a whole new server because the pass through or because that card stinks. Xavius, it's -12 Celsius in the area. I'm about 3 hours away from Tim. Yeah, there you go. Doing the maths for me. Thank you. MN, can I ask questions about Rancher? Heck yeah, you can. Yeah, let's do it. Fire away. Takano, expected date to order is end of December, hopefully to have it by February. Ended up going with Thunder Laser Nova 24 since the current brand we have wants 12K to get it up to spec. With Thunder only wants 7.4K, and it's way newer laser and better software and features. Yeah. If it's more expensive to fix the old one, yeah, buy new for sure. ZVSD, actually, I did say something. I said, I'm here, Techno Tim. You better show up today. Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see that in the log. So when I look at Twitch chat, they'll show me the previous chat, but I think there's a timer on it. I think there's a timer of a couple of hours. So when I went to the channel, it wasn't there. But I saw you said in Discord you were waiting. I saw in Discord you said you were waiting. But hey, Dennis, hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Thank you. Hype applause. Yeah, hype. Deddy, hi Tim. Do you have any advice for Proxmox getting timeout when forced shutting down VMs? No. Wish I did. No, I don't have any good solutions for this. Like I've run into this a few times. Like before, when I was using TrueNAS core, it was running on FreeBSD, which didn't have the right drivers to be able to shut down the VM properly, and so it would hang, but it wouldn't hang indefinitely. I think there's a timeout configuration where it'll eventually go, and it might be. I don't remember if it's related to the automatic startup times or the automatic shutdown times. I think it's tied to one of those. But it should go eventually. It should go eventually. It should go eventually. And what I mean by that is if you're actually shutting down Proxmox itself, like they should shut down eventually. There's a timeout and it should just kill them. But if you're talking about like you're going in and manually trying to shut one down, not Proxmox itself, but the guest, and it won't, there's a couple things you can do depending on what version you're on. For Proxmox, this got a little bit better or easier, but you can force shut one down. I think it's quit, or it might be reset. Anyways, if nothing else works, this command has worked for me for a long time on Proxmox. I'll go into the monitor section for that VM and I'll just type quit. And what quit will do is basically like pulling the power plug, pulling the virtual power plug on the machine. And that will force it to quit. But that's a hard quit. And like I said, it's pulling the power plug. It's not a graceful shutdown, so be careful with that. But I think if you hit this timeout anyways, when you're shutting down Proxmox, it's because it can't shut it down, and so it's going to do the same thing. It's going to pull the virtual power plug from it, and you don't have a clean shutdown. So how does this happen? Sometimes this can happen if you don't have, the proper drivers and utilities installed for it. You want to make sure that, you have I forget what they call it, top of my head. The additional utilities you install for Linux virtual machines to make sure you can manage them properly. It was a lot longer than trying to remember the name for them. But you want to make sure that you have those installed. If you have those installed, you'll kind of know because you'll get some additional features. You'll get to be able to do some additional things, but then also ACPI shutdown, so a power button shutdown should shut the machine down. So I would check those things. Otherwise, yeah, that's tough. It's tough work. Let's see. Yocto, yeah, 0 PDUs mount vertical on a media tray in the back. I nailed it. I was just guessing too. Awesome. I've never seen them. Oh, I have seen some that mount vertically. Way back in the day when I racked IBM servers, we had a vertical PDU mount with the reverse plugs. I'm going to call them something that they're really not because I don't know the real name for them. But they have the plugs that look reverse to me, where the male, it's like an inverted male plug that goes into the PDU. Anyways, those mounted vertically way back in the day along both sides of the server rack, and one was for breaker A and breaker B. So they were on two different power supplies. So yeah, awesome. You have to take some pictures. I want to see them. Crack Kitty, what's up, man? Crack Kitty's resub Prime, 14 months, 12 months straight. Thanks, dude. Super late, but better late than yeah. Hey everyone. Hey Tim. Hey, how's it going, Crack Kitty? Thank you so much for the continued support. Hope you're doing well, man. 14 months, 1 year, 2 months. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Flowdash, did you install the VM agent? Yeah, exactly what I was talking about, but I forget what it's called. But yeah, I should have just said that. Yeah, because that's gonna give you the way that you can actually shut down, do a clean, shutdown with ACPI, for sure. No, gonna look into it. Yeah, that was the easiest solution. I was going down all these super hard solutions, but yeah, the easiest solution is to make sure you have the agent and the drivers installed. Then things will shut down nicely. Takano, no problem. Any questions here? Welcome, Themes. Oh, thanks for helping. Appreciate it. Guest agent. Thank you, JCX Life. It's a QEMU guest agent. That was the trigger that made me remember. Yeah, the guest agent will likely sort that out. If you're using a host with guest agent support, at least make sure ACPI is configured and enabled in the VM's config. Yeah, for sure. QEMU guest agent. That's exactly right. I couldn't remember the QEMU part for sure. Kill some time. Hi, folks. Updated switches, hypervisors, and Gust OS foo. Wait, what? Hypervisor and Gust OS foo. At Techno Tim, is there an update for HA Pi-hole without Kubernetes? Still sync and keep alive D. Is there an update for HA Pi-hole without Kubernetes? Yeah, absolutely, because it won't work like the let me kind of sort this out. So the way that I do quote unquote HA Pi-hole is not through Kubernetes. I actually do use keep alive D to load balance those requests to go to 2 different Pi-hole instances. I won't get technical, but I won't make it more complicated than it needs to be. But keep alive D, load balanced to 2 Pi-hole instances, and then I use Gravity Sync to sync those rules back and forth. So not only rules, but my block lists, all of my local DNS entries and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the way to go. There's other things, other ways you could do it too, but combination of Gravity Sync and Keep Alive D is great. But you need to have 2 instances of Pi-hole running, whether that be on VMs or in Docker containers. You can't really easily do it in Kubernetes. Sad to say, the sync part is it's a shell script, and so it kind of relies on SSH and relies on being able to read and write in certain places that aren't there in Kubernetes. So you can't do it in Kubernetes. So you're okay, either in Docker or in with VMs. And if you do it in Docker, it has to be. I'll just say it. So if you're doing it in Docker, it has to be on a host where you can actually read and write the file system too. So this rules out, some NASs and stuff like that where you actually don't have access to the operating system. It's impossible to do it that way using that script. So, but if you're using VMs or Docker inside of VMs or even bare metal, should all work. MN, I want to use Active Directory for Rancher authentication. Domain users in Rancher, I assume. So Rancher supports LDAP authentication through Active Directory. Yeah, it works. I've never done it, but it works. It's there in their auth mechanisms. So I think if you just go into, if you go into Rancher and open it up, I should probably look, but I'm not because I'll get super distracted. And then you go into auth, you can choose your auth provider. And then I think you've got to provide like that long, weird LDAP query. I'm just guessing because I haven't done it, but I assume because most systems that where you set up LDAP or Active Directory require like some query to know the OU or the user that has access to the stuff. And then I think you can map them to roles. But yeah, it should work. I hope they do. I mean, all right, I'm gonna Google it really quick because now Active Directory Rancher. Absolutely. I remember seeing it. Yeah, it does. AD Rancher Manager. Yep, absolutely. So yeah, I was like, oh, am I misremembering this? So yeah. So anyways, it's the same place where you configure auth. If you're using a third party like an OAuth provider like GitHub, that's in there. If you're using Google, I think that's in there, or Active Directory. There's a bunch of different auth providers you can pick from, and Microsoft Active Directory is definitely one, or even OpenLDAP should work too. Dowcola, pretty happy. And finally, having set up traffic with CrowdSec and Authelia and OpenLDAP, speaking of OpenLDAP, integrated together and now ready for future projects to be proxied and secure. Nice. That is awesome. So traffic, your reverse proxy, CrowdSec, security on top of your reverse proxy, Authelia, your auth proxy on top of traffic, so you can authorize people to those endpoints, and then open LDAP, probably connected to Authelia, but so you have a directory where you can create users and give them access to stuff. Awesome. That sounds like a great stack. Awesome. Now, if only React would stop being mean to me and work like I wanted to. It sounds like you took care of the hard stuff. I don't know. For me, I've done a ton of React, so I love it and look forward to it. If you need some help, ping me on what you're working on. I do a ton of React. I wrote a ton even yesterday at work. So auth can be challenging in React. It depends on if you're doing it client side or server side, but if you're doing it client side, you got to use a type of grant that I can't remember right now. I don't know. My brain's not working today. Anyways, ping me in Discord. I've done a ton of it. So let's see. Flowdash, QEMU guest agent. Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for helping out. Tim, it's around, let's see, Xavier's T. It's around the min teens here this week. Been getting morning now and clearing later these days. Yeah, it's for us, low of 9, high of 23. So yeah, it's been chilly. Here being in Fargo. Yeah, I remember you're in Fargo. Edster. In relation to my ML100, it's a tower server. Okay, gotcha. With an E2683 V4, 16 cores, and 96 gigs of RAM. Nice. Which I got for 400 Australian dollars. Authentic is a pain and still trying to get the proxy auth working with traffic. Yeah, it can't. Yeah, any auth proxy is kind of challenging to get to work on top of proxies. As if reverse proxies weren't challenging enough, now you have an auth proxy that's middleware inside of it, intercepting those requests and then checking for tokens. So it is challenging for sure, but you're so close. TJ, so many possibilities to learn. Definitely excited. All right. Well, you come to the right place. Takano, hopefully Elon isn't here or else he's going to shut down all of our microservices. That is true. Yeah, you got to watch out for that one. Yeah, it's interesting to watch, isn't it? It's wild. Yeah, Twitter is wild right now. I don't know. I think who knows? Whether or not you agree with him as a person. I always wonder if he's going to be able to turn Twitter around. I kind of think he will. I think there's the meme of Musk that we're seeing and that we see sometimes, and then there's the businessman of Musk, which we've seen and we see sometimes. And I think they're two different people. And so I think what we're seeing on Twitter right now is the meme of Musk. But I feel like he'll be able to turn around. Not saying it's still going to be a great place or whatever, but I think he might be able to make it profitable and do what he wants to do with it. Who knows what it is he wants to do with it? But anyways, yeah, it's been wild to watch for sure. Queso or CASO, how's it going with the new rack? It's going really well so far. I mean, it's built. I'm putting the first things in it now. I realize that like any choice that I make now, I have to kind of live with. So I'm super hesitant on what to put where. Like I have two UPSs. One's going to be dedicated to just networking devices, and then one's going to be dedicated to servers. And I'm like, do I put the UPS one up top? And if I do, which place? So I don't know. And mainly the reason why I'm choosing the top is because I don't want to stretch the cords as long, but also because if it's only network devices, like why put it at the bottom? Why not put it closer to where it needs to go? So there's a ton of tiny decisions like that where I don't want to make the wrong decision and then 3 months later have to move stuff around. Not like it's the end of the world, but it's a pain to move stuff in a server rack. I mean, you guys know. I mean, a UPS might not be that bad, so who knows? But anyways, it's going great. No official news yet. That's I guess this is official news because I'm saying it. But no video, but video soon on it about some of my decisions and what I'm putting into it. The one on my power decisions should be coming soon. So just working through that. But again, I'm kind of like frozen to where I don't want to I don't want to make the wrong decision to put something in the wrong place and then have to regret it later. So, I mean, if you guys know, like if you have multiple UPSs, some dedicated to network and some dedicated to servers, yeah, where do you put them? Where do you put them? I'm leaning towards the very bottom is going to be my server ones, and close to the top, if not the very top, will be ones dedicated to my, my network switch and my firewall. So I don't know. I'm getting anxious just thinking about it. But yeah, thank you, Caso or Queso or CASO. It's coming along. It's fun though. It's fun having something new and just getting to rethink, how you did stuff in the past. So it's pretty fun. I live 30 minutes away from Minneapolis. Nice. I'm not used to the cold yet. Moved here recently, so it's all wild adventure for me. Okay, Rorix, I get you now. When I was saying, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. But I get it. Like if you come from somewhere that's, as a mild climate or a warm climate, you're like, what the heck is going on? I'm going to be the first to tell you, it's going to get a lot colder. I mean, you think 15 is bad, wait until it's negative 15, which is another 30 degrees colder, along with, 20 mile an hour winds to where it dips down to like negative 40 wind chill. That's when it's cold, like so cold that if you go outside, like your legs are going to freeze off. Just kidding. Not really. But yeah, it's interesting, but fun. Now, cool. There are any more, but I still don't jinx it. More precious microservices are in danger. I see what you're saying there. Yeah. I mean, who knows? I mean, I won't go totally into it, but Twitter is a big company, and they needed some changes. Not saying that this is the change that they needed, but obviously they I don't know. I feel like they've never been profitable, and they probably at some point need to be. So it's, but I'm not saying what he's doing or the way he's going about it is the right thing. It's so interesting to watch. To me, it's like it's just like this sitcom that's playing out every day. So, anyways, it'll be interesting to see for sure. I mean, he's built rockets. He's built cars. I think he understands how software works, and so we'll see if he built PayPal. I mean, the list goes on. We'll see if he understands how to build or rebuild a social network. We'll see. Blind Guy Nick, hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Great info. Thanks, man. Yeah, no problem at all. Let's see. GCX, blue check, not a tick emote on Twitch. Yeah, that is right. I'm actually setting up Docker container to auto-process PDFs to OCR. So the law firm I work at can stop sending me 5,000 PDFs to OCR. These PDFs are like 6,000 pages each. Days to OCR them all. Awesome. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, build a workflow for that, because that sounds pretty awesome. Yeah, it sounds perfect. You just have a drop-off location. And then you have an output location, and as soon as the container it'll monitor a folder. As soon as it sees new files, it'll convert them and shove them right over. That's awesome. So then when the law firm sends you all the stuff, just be like, I'm so busy, so many things I gotta OCR, and just dump all the files in there and just, kind of sit back. I like it. You have to let me know. if you're going to use something open source or if this is roll your own. MN. I want to use Active Directory and Rancher for authentication. Domain uses Rancher, but after the configuration, error, unable to fetch personal info to appear in the settings and don't work. Interesting. So I haven't done it before, and it sounds like you're on the right track. I mean, I would try to Google for that. I mean, most likely it's going to be like either it can't communicate with it, which isn't the case. It doesn't have access to something it needs to read, or your LDAP query or secret is incorrect. So it's got to be one of those. And I think we ruled out the first one. So look at you. I mean, I don't recall if you plug in an LDAP query. I assume you do, but yeah, look into that. And then I'm making assumptions because in OAuth it's pretty easy. OAuth is, hey, you sign in, you grant it access. You have a web endpoint where it gets a token and it looks to see if that token matches, and it's like, great, you're in. LDAP's a little bit different, or Active Directory is a little bit different, so I'd have to look into it. Xavius, not sure. I looked into it. Oh, there we go. I bookmarked the stuff, but I need to move my work laptop and stuff, and once it's done, I'm on to my next task. Then set up a demo for my work to demonstrate it, to talk to the company and setting it up. Awesome. Yeah. I think we all kind of have the same questions. Is there an open source version of that? I have to believe there is. I have to believe there's something that can do OCR open source. I mean, I would have, yeah, there absolutely has to be, because those types of libraries like exist for apps and stuff like that are open source, and to do it basically in a CLI is what it's going to be doing inside of a container. Basically, if there's a CLI that can do it, there's a container that can do it, and if not, we could build that container in probably a couple hours, if that. And I guarantee there's some kind of binary or CLI out there that can do it, and then that's probably already in a container. And if it's not, we can put one in there. We can put it in one really easily. So awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to know. Mega Shiny Snivy, I'm excited. Actually running somewhat public service. Nice. Awesome. Running Jellyfin and Jelly Seer for some friends of mine. Awesome. Defended by traffic. Forward auth. Awesome. So you have some auth proxy going on in there with email whitelisting against Google. Nice. With 10 users. Other than a total cluster failure due to corrupt etcd, it's been pretty stable so far. Even with the total cluster failure, I was able to get back up and running within a few hours with backups in CI/CD with Flux. Awesome. You're speaking my language. Awesome. That is awesome. I just tweeted a little bit. I just tweeted something similar out just a little while ago because I was doing something similar too. But first of all, that is awesome. Traffic going. You have your forward auth probably with Authelia or some forward auth to basically say, hey, intercept these requests. Look for this email whitelist against Google, which is awesome. Limit to 10 users. And so that is awesome. So you're only letting specific people in to watch Jellyfin. Super awesome. And yeah, and then you're doing it all with CI/CD and then Flux. Awesome too. Yeah. So GitOps is what I was just talking about on Twitter earlier today. Just saying it's so awesome once you have GitOps because, like you had to do a redeploy, and like me this morning, I had to do a redeploy of GitLab, and I was like, oh, this stinks. And I was like, oh, wait a second, I'm using Flux. Comment out the deployment, push that up. Flux tears it out of Kubernetes. Uncomment the deployment, push it back up, and then Kubernetes builds the deployment back up. And, within 10 minutes, I had my GitLab runners up and running fresh again because I had a sneaking suspicion something was wrong between upgrades. So, but yeah, that is awesome. I'm a huge fan of Flux, CI/CD, Kubernetes. You guys know this, but that is awesome and a testament to, I think why people should start version controlling their manifests, whether they be for Docker or Kubernetes or really for anything, and use the UI as kind of read-only as a fallback. But yeah, awesome. Glad to know. I'm curious too about your backups and how the restore went for you, because for you that's probably I'm just guessing, but I mean you have to be using persistent volumes. So I wonder if they were probably not automatic ones. Anyways, probably not dynamic ones. They were probably static ones that you defined ahead of time, and those were probably pointing to NFS. Just guessing, because that's the hard part is doing DR, disaster recovery on Kubernetes volumes. It's tough, but I'll have something coming soon. Let's see. Shako. That's what I'm going with. Never asked. What is your day job? How'd you get into it? What about sysadmin in general? What got you into it? Oh yeah, this is a good question. I've answered it a few times, but I'll answer it real quick. Day job, I'm a software engineer at a startup. I was at a really small startup, but we just got acquired. And so now we're at a small startup, not a really small startup anymore. So we got acquired by a bigger startup. And I'm a software engineer. I do a little bit of everything. I gravitate towards front-end stuff, so a ton of React. I do a ton of React. I do API stuff. I was just building some APIs the other day. And I do a ton of DevOps stuff because I love it and I gravitate towards that. So can I do full back-end stuff? Sure. Do I need some help sometimes? Sure. Because it's not something that I'm I'm a huge fan of, but I love front end, love DevOps, I love building apps, I love doing kind of all of that. And so I worked at I still work at a small startup, but before that I worked at a really small startup where I got to wear a lot of those hats, and I still get to a lot of the time, which is pretty awesome. So, yeah, that's what I do. Sysadmin is kind of my hobby. It wasn't always my hobby. I did some sysadmining sysadmining at some point in time in my life, a while back. I mean, I started out in tech support, pulling out printer jams and removing malware and installing software. And, from there, it turned into I wanted to automate all of that stuff that we did, and I did do that. And then I wanted to centralize a lot of the stuff we did with some tools, and then I did that. And then shortly after that, I did hop in to become a system administrator for a lot of Windows systems, and did Linux at home. We didn't do Linux at work, so I did it at home, and it's always been that way. If I wasn't doing something I liked at work, I'd do it at home because I wanted to learn, or I was more excited about something that we weren't working on. So anyways, yeah, it's just been a lot of that. I mean, I've done networking, I've done system administration, I've done application type support, application analyst type stuff, straight up infrastructure stuff at a larger company too. And then got into software development, developed apps, websites, you name it, business applications, APIs, public apps, apps that are in the App Store. And through all that, to help enable what I wanted to do, like public facing apps, I needed to build out some infrastructure. And so I always wanted to host my infrastructure at home if I could, because AWS was expensive. And plus I was building apps that were either free or not making any money. So I've always tried to figure out a way to do it for free, but to do it enterprise for free. And by free, I mean just not paying, hosting provider for it, doing it with the hardware that I had. And so, yeah, that's how I've always kind of been, is just like, hey, if I got something that I need hosted publicly, I'll host it at home in my now cluster at home. It hasn't always been a cluster. It was a bare metal old compact system for a while, and then it turned into a Lenovo system for a while, or an IBM, and then Lenovo, and then custom built hardware, my old gaming PC, and then it turned into real servers. And so that too has been an evolution. Like my career, my home lab has also been an evolution of what I want to build. And so I don't know, I kind of like doing a one-man show of enterprise at home. And it doesn't always work out great, but for the most part, I learn a ton, and I get to do some pretty wild things that I wouldn't be able to do in a company, nor would they trust me to do them, nor would I want them to trust me to do them. Burn down the whole entire environment and build it back up, using a combination of Ansible and Flux. So, but yeah, it's just been a desire. I just had this desire to learn and build and do things. My way of relaxing is building stuff. That's how I am. I don't know why. I don't know. My idea of relaxing is writing code or automating stuff. I don't know why. That's what I find relaxing. That's what I feel comfortable with doing. And so that's I think that's part of the reason why I've just been able to do so much, is because that's really what I enjoy. I think it's fun, and I think it's to me relaxing, even though it doesn't sound relaxing. To me it is, because I get to kind of like focus on something for a while. But yeah, good question. Hopefully that answers your question. I didn't mean to talk about it so long, because I don't know. I don't like talking about myself that much, but it's kind of been my evolution ever since I got out of college. GCX Life, business people, why are your lights flashing? Tim. I'm also a Twitch streamer. Business people, enough said. Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. Or if they don't, or they'll say something like, "Oh, my son loves Twitch." I'm like, you're not that old to be able to not, to not say, that you love Twitch, but that comes up a lot. Like, oh, my son loves Twitch. That's usually what happens. I'm like, yeah, your son, it could probably be my son too, because I'm older than you probably think. But or they'll say, oh, you're a gamer, right? They see the lights in the background, pink or blue or something other than white, and they're like, oh, you're a gamer, right? As if all gamers have LEDs. But yeah, it's good for conversations. Like if it's, it's a good icebreaker. But sometimes, you know, if I'm working with another company's engineering team, it's kind of a good icebreaker too. But on business ones, it's not so good because it's like totally distracting from what we're trying to do. So I had to put the kibosh on that one. Techno updated production use invoice system without backup and completely corrupted the install. Had to reinstall the working version and had to manually go through the SQL database and recover what I could. Yeah, it's not good, man. Not good. Data Lore, hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. And Fly Guy Nick, I probably didn't call that one out. I apologize. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Tigano, you know this. You know this from home. You got to have backups, man. Backups. That's tough, though, like especially when applications write their databases probably local or somewhere, and you just don't even think, like, yeah, I'm going to upgrade the app, and you don't think about that, you know, the database that lives on that device. Yeah, it kind of stinks, but you know this. You know this, man. You need backups. Luckily, it's only for a school project and not invoices, and not my invoices were processed, so I remembered most things off the top of my head. There you go. I'm kind of that way too. Like if you can fix it fast with very little people noticing, sometimes, you know, I YOLO most stuff. But if you can't fix it fast, then you might have to, you know, put some measures in place for sure. Make it shiny. Tasty battery fumes. Oh yeah, I was smelling them this morning for sure. JCX laptops are great for new servers for beginners. Yeah, I agree. I started mine like 15 years ago on a Dell Inspiron Mini 1012, Intel Atom, and a gig of RAM, but it did some virtualization. That is awesome. Yeah, I totally agree. Old laptops are great for learning, especially if they do support virtualization like you did. You had an Intel Atom. That is awesome. I actually had an Intel Atom box too for a while. Like I went through this phase where I was like, okay, I'm going to downsize. And then I bought one of those integrated Intel boards that had an Atom built in, and that Atom supported virtualization. And I did actually virtualize some stuff on there. Dog slow, but it worked. And I was like, this is great. I have an Intel Atom, and on top of that, I'm running a hypervisor. At the time it was Hyper-V, but yeah, good little systems for sure, especially old laptops. Because, old laptops still have a lot to give, especially when it comes to servers, because they're not as demanding as, a power user on Windows, typing and clicking and watching everything, watching all their videos, and doing everything else they do in a business type environment. So yeah, I think old laptops, old machines in general are great for servers because, 99% of the time they're not doing anything. They're just resting until you put some load on them. Depending on what that load is, it should be fine too. Let's see, Xavier D. So one of the IT guys at my company, he runs a bunch of Arc servers. Nice. I talked to him on Discord complaining about the work laptop. He said, bring it to him, and he can swap it out for one with 16 gigs of RAM and a bigger screen. Win. Yeah, nice. That is nice. So he runs Arc server. That is awesome. So your IT guy, yeah, you get in good with him. You're like, oh, you run Arc. Yeah, I know that game. You start talking to him about stuff he understands. And he's like, by the way, what did you want? And he's like, oh, I want a new laptop. You're like, oh, I want a new laptop. And he's like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome, man, for sure. Hey guys, I do have to wrap it up because I can tell that I am a little bit over, and I can tell because I smell something. So my wife is home because we got to prepare for a little thing we're going to tonight. So anyways, I got to hop off. I do apologize for cutting things off. I'm going to look for very specific things or mentions. MMN AD. I see. Fetch personal info to appear. Hey, jump in Discord. We can maybe lend a hand in there. I haven't done it before, or maybe I can even spin up a test instance and try it. But I don't even have Active Directory here. So yeah. But if you can, throw it in Discord and let's have a look for sure. All right. All right. Techno Tim. Yeah, Xavier. I knew you were here. JCX Live. Use Keep Alive D. You use Keep Alive D just because most systems only support 2 DNS servers, don't you? I went the simple way to have 2 Pi-holes and Gravity Sync. Yeah. For sure. That was my first iteration, was 2 Pi-hole servers. And this is why I was like, oh, I don't really want to get into it. I did add a third. So I have 3 Pi-hole servers, one of which is standalone, and one of which is load balanced. So my primary DNS is standalone. My secondary DNS is load balanced behind Keep Alive D with two Pi-hole servers, one of which is a Raspberry Pi Zero. And if maybe that's not so obvious, but I did that because if things are down, like I shut my servers down, that little Pi Zero is then powering all of my DNS here. And that Pi Zero is also on a different battery backup than everything else, so that even if everything goes down and my main UPS goes down, that Pi Zero is totally on a separate UPS from everything else. So I'll still have DNS because that's on the same UPS that my modem and router are on. So anyways, I know I make things super complicated, but yeah, I have 3 Pi-holes, and that's why I was like, I don't want to muddy the waters here. But yeah, you're exactly right. I did the 2 for a while, and now I'm on 3. And that's why I use Keep Alive D, is to load balance my secondary. So, all right, guys. Oh man, so many comments. I do apologize, but I do have to go. And yeah, thank you so much for joining in. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the Saturday. If you have more questions or want to talk more, you should absolutely join our Discord server. We have a Discord server full of, I think we're 8,000 people now, which is really awesome. It's a partner Discord server. You should totally join. If you don't know how to get in there, you can use !Discord. And if you don't know how to do that, just go to discord.gg/technotim, and that'll get you an invite right there because we're a partner Discord. So I would love it if you join. Low ping and great discussion. So thank you, Crack Kitty, appreciate it. Hey guys, I will be back next Saturday on Twitch, and I will have something out for you this week on YouTube. So I appreciate it, and thank you so much. There were subs, new subs, renewed subs, gifted subs, lots of follows. So I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's more than I could have ever imagined a couple of years ago. So I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. So if you need me, ping me. I'll be in Discord, probably be on Twitter until it shuts down. And yeah, be good to each other. Take care, folks.